Joining us now, all the way from Abuja, is the Director of Communications of the Nigerian Football Federation. He holds one of the most sensitive positions in African football because he's the man who has to tell you exactly what is going on in Nigerian football. It's an absolute pleasure to have Ademola Olajire join us on Game On tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Yeah, it's my pleasure as well to be on the program. Thank you very much, Babatunde Koiki.
Thank you.
I've been following all that you've been doing, and I'd like to say that News Central has been doing a lot, in the area of football and sports coverage.
Thank you very much. Don't worry, we promise we will do more. I still have some great guys here in the studio with me. Onyenwechi Nwachukwu, who is the deputy editor of Sporting Life. There's also Onyinyechi Obaro, who is News Central's finance, and of course, Okpe Adebayo here in the studio with me. Right, let us start with the elephant in the room. George Finidi. Why was he appointed ahead of the multitude of coaches who applied for this job, both internationally and domestically? What stood him out as the perfect candidate?
Thank you very much, Babatunde. I'd like to say that, when you have a competition, there can only be one winner. In this case, Finidi George has won, and I want to say that, we would like all Nigerians, to give him the support, and just forget about it. The process. As I've told, I said a few days ago, I'm not a member of the technical committee, but I looked at, the kind of things, the principles, they must have employed, what they must have looked at, to be able to come up with, say, okay, Finidi. Finidi has been, with the team, 20 months, was assistant to the Ose Pesero, and he took the team on two friendly games in Morocco in the month of March. And at the time of the appointment, we had about 6 weeks to two very important qualifying games, that we cannot afford to toy with. These are matches that we must win. And when you have a situation like that, you look at someone who is like a second skin, to the team, someone who has been with the team, who have been with the players. I think, let me say now, personally, I'm closer to Ima, Amuneke, and even Finidi George. But I'm looking at what the technical committee, the factors they must have looked at, the reasons they must have, come up with that. Look, Finidi has been part of this team. He has been there from day one. Amuneke was involved, 2 years ago down the line, when we tried to qualify for the World Cup 2022. That did not work. It was a negative result, but no fault of his. But the truth is, Amuneke has been George. Finidi George has been the person who has been with this team over the past 2 years, and we must, look at that. We must also look at what he has achieved, coaching. He left he just, passed up an opportunity to take up a second-tier team. So he came back home, took Eyimba, and his second season won the league. This is third season. He's looking very good. He's in third position with 4 matches left. And, you have to look at, those factors. We don't have time. He's been with the team, and definitely, those are factors that must have played in his favor.
Okay, so looking at, we talked, you just mentioned Eyimba now. So a question that a lot of people are actually pretty confounded about is, what is his status with Eyimba now? Is he still substantive coach of Eyimba and substantive coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Or will his contract expire at the end of this season where he'll be free to take up the Super Eagles job? Or did the NFF negotiate with Eyimba to extricate him from this contract, probably pay off his contract so he can come over to the Super Eagles? What is the status of his contract with Eyimba and the Super Eagles of Nigeria? And even while answering that, what is the duration of his contract?
Thank you very much, Babatunde. There are some questions that I may not be able to readily answer, but I can assure you that his status is that he is now with the Nigerian Football Federation as head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So the fact, about him being head coach of Eyimba no longer subsists. So about other contractual details, I think, they in a couple of days, everything will come together. Everything will be, thrown out to the public. I've seen Finidi around the office, in the past 3 days. I believe that a lot of things have been, looked at, agreed upon, and then the I's have been, dotted, the T's have been crossed, and we can, come to an agreement on certain things. But there's no way you will be the head coach of Nigeria and be the head coach of Eyimba. It's not going to work. So it can never work. So there must have been discussions with the leadership of the management of Eyimba, and Mr. George is head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah, good evening, Ademola. This is Onyeuchi. Yeah, my question. My question is very simple. A lot of people have said when he was announced as the head coach of the Super Eagles, all other details should have followed. That is now looking as if the cart was put before the horse instead of the other way around. What is really the issue? Why were the details not announced? By the details, I meant the duration of his contract, how much he's going to earn, his assistant coaches, because I'm aware that the friendly games in Morocco, he was everything. He was the head coach, he was assistant coach, he only went with the only one goalkeeper trainer. So why was it hurriedly done if all the details were not fine-tuned?
Good question, but I like to say that in as much as I said earlier that I'm not a member of the technical committee that went through this process. There are procedures. A lot of things must have been in place. A lot of things might have. There might definitely have been intricacies and discussions, deliberations and conversations between the two parties. So I want to look at it from the positive point of view that Mr. Finidi George has agreed to be head coach of Nigeria, in broad strokes, but then, the final details are being worked on and will be, announced in a couple of days. We have two very important matches ahead, and I think that was what they looked at and say, okay, Finidi, come on board, all issues about your assistant, everything will be resolved. Definitely several weeks before the game. We have 4.5 weeks to go. Then in 2 days, 3 days, we tidy up the issue of, the fine details of the contract, your assistants, the duration of the contract, how much you're going to earn. But I believe that a lot of these things must have been agreed. Just the legal department, putting up, the documents.
Okay. All right, sir. You've spoken about the assistants, and I believe one of the things that will be sorted out while Finidi is in Abuja has to be his assistant. But I mean, some certain reports have it that the technical committee has appointed Daniel Amokachi as part of the crew, while Finidi has the opportunity of choosing 3 foreign-based coaches to come join him. I mean, could you give us clarity regarding that, and maybe just more clarity regarding the manpower that will be supporting Finidi George?
My brother, I've seen Daniel Amokachi a couple of times at the NFF office in the past a couple of days, but I, do not deal with speculations. I do not talk on speculation. I do not talk on rumors. I do not talk on, what hints and whatever. My own is to deliver what has been concluded, what has been agreed upon, by the management of the federation, by if there's a committee makes a recommendation, and then the board, sits on it and takes a decision. I have no idea, whether Mr. Daniel Amokachi has been proposed as an assistant coach, I have no idea about that. But I've seen him a couple of times in the office. I've seen him in the office of the president, in the office of the general secretary. But I mean, he's has been always been a regular visitor to the NFL office. I do not want to hazard a guess as to what exactly is cooking. I just want to be given that list of who are the assistant coaches of the Super Eagles, who, whether they put together the ones that are proposed by Finidi, the ones proposed by the Federation. So I have no idea what exactly has been agreed upon.
So you can't confirm to us whether it is the Federation who is choosing Finidi's assistants or Finidi himself who is going to choose his assistants. You cannot confirm at this moment.
Look, Babatunde, even when we had Genotro, when we had Ose Pesero, the Federation will bring a couple of assistants. The head coach will bring a couple of assistants.
True.
I believe it was the Federation that brought Finidi George to be assistant to Pesero. It was the Federation that brought a couple of assistants for Mr. Genotro at that time. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be any different now. Mr. George will pick a number of assistants. The Federation will pick a couple, and then we'll roll with it.
Okay, but just before, I know he is dying to ask about the Super Falcons, but I want to ask you, as a member of the Nigerian Football Federation and also as a football fan, are you confident that George Finidi is the best man to deliver a 2026 FIFA World Cup ticket for Nigeria, judging by the fact that we didn't start too well? We're currently third in our group. We have two very crucial games coming up against two difficult teams, the Bafana of South Africa, who gave quite a tough time at the Africa Cup of Nations, and also the Squirrels, the mighty Squirrels of Benin Republic, as I like to call them, who are coached by a former Super Eagles manager. Is he the best man for the job?
Thank you, Babatunde. I'm going to use the mixed method approach here. I'm going to, do a little of analysis of my own, and then I will throw the question back to someone like you.
Okay.
Yes, we have 5 weeks. So what do? We have Emmanuel Amonike, we have Finidi George, we have a couple of foreigners. So who is the best in these circumstances? Are we looking at someone who is coming in straight from the moon, somebody who the players have not met, or someone who has been with the team for the past 20 months and even took the team on 2 friendly games, and has bonded with the team? It's somebody who, has been part of the team. As I told you earlier, I'm even closer to Ima than Finidi. I remember myself and Ima personally, on a personal level, since 1994 Nations Cup in Tunisia, we've been very close, and somebody that we pump hands, we chest thump, we do high fives and all that. Finidi is somebody who's more reserved. But let's look at the facts on the table. This is somebody who has been clear, been with the team, been with the players, knows, where, as they say, the dead bodies are buried in the team. And he can just, continue like that. Not someone who will come in afresh. That is my own analysis. So now I throw it back to you. Personally, Babatunde, who would you have picked?
Well, going by what you said, and going by the time frame that we have, it would seem that George Finidi is actually the best man to choose at this particular point in time. But I want to throw it back to you again. If it was left to you between Finidi, that you mentioned, and also Emmanuel Amunike, who you have a close relationship with, who would you have chosen?
In the circumstances that we have presently, I would, go with Finidi.
Okay. Well, yeah.
All right, it has been thrown to me right now, so I'm taking over. Let's talk about the most successful team on the Nigerian scene, the Super Falcons, of course. I know it's, I'll call it a month, few days to the start of the Paris 2024 Olympics, and the Super Falcons are making their appearance again after a very long time. Congratulations to them for punching their tickets. What preparations are in top gear for the Super Falcons to have a fluid campaign there in Paris? They will be facing World Cup champions. So what preparations are in top gear?
Yeah, thank you very much, Onyechi. That's the Super Falcons. You know, it's always very interesting topic. But I want to correct something you said. The most successful team on the Nigerian scene. I want to say that it's perhaps the most successful team on the African scene.
Thank you.
Male or female. You know, so it's a team that the NFF cannot afford to toy with. It's a team that, you know, is just on the uptick. It's on the rise, and the NFF, you know, they recognize that, they appreciate that, and every effort, you know, is being made to ensure that, you know, the team gets the best of preparations at all times for major tournaments. Yeah, we're talking about the Olympics here. We've not been there in 16 years, and you know, it's a responsibility on the federation to ensure the best of preparations, you know, for the team. On the day that the team qualified for the Olympics in South Africa, Coach Wardrum talked about, you know, training sessions in Europe. Of course, you know, that's given. And I know of the FIFA window, FIFA Women International window, sometime in early July. But even before then, you know, there'll be campings, there'll be, you know, training, you know, tryouts here and there, you know, in different parts of the world, you know, for the team. And the federation is definitely not joking with this. We believe we have a team that can surprise the world. They went to the World Cup, you know, held the Olympic champions, you know, defeated the host nation right in front of their own fans in Brisbane, and left the World Cup unbeaten in regulation time. That's the kind of team that you want, you know, to stick by, that you want to place your bet on at all times. And the federation is, you know, definitely working to ensure that the Falcons take on the best. Brazil, Spain, Japan. We believe we have a team, you know, to conquer them.
Well, from one successful national team to another, I'm talking about the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria, and we just need clarity to these, you know, issues that we've been hearing around the MRI for the Golden Eaglets. We heard, you know, that about 18 players out of the squad, you know, were disqualified by the MRI. You know, are you, as a federation, are you in panic mode? What other alternatives, what other options, if these stories are true, what other options are you looking at? Considering the fact that the tournament starts on May 15th, that's about, I think, 8 or 9 days, 7 days from now.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I should ask you what's up with Anyway, the federation is not in panic mode. I can assure that story about so many players being out of the team, you know, being knocked out by MRI. Of course, a couple of players who are knocked out by the MRI, but majority of the players are still there. And I can tell you that, you know, today is, we're talking now on a Wednesday night. The team is traveling on Saturday to Ghana. We have the 20 players, you know, that the WAFU B, you know, have asked for the list, you know, to be sent. We have the 20 players, and I can assure you it's very good players, a formidable squad, as Coach Manu Garba promised, and the team will do the nation proud. A couple of players who are, of course, you know, sent packing by the MRI, but we have the team, you know, that will go there to Ghana, 20 players who are capable of defending the green and white.
Okay, just before we let you go, I really have to ask you this question regarding the President's Federation Cup, as it's also known now. A lot of people are still not happy about the somewhat haphazard management of the tournament. He just started all of a sudden, and the games are being rushed. But now we're in the round of 32. What is the federation really doing in trying to revitalize Nigeria's oldest cup competition, considering the fact that it is a huge trophy, and also the fact that it seems to have lost a lot of luster. Now it has a name change, but can we see other changes in terms of, razzmatazz, in terms of excitement, in terms of management and administration of the competition? So it starts earlier from the state finals or the state different state FA Cups, so that we can have a proper, well-run President's Federation Cup that is not rushed towards the end of the season.
Babatunde, honestly, this is a very good question. Everybody's concerned. I keep telling the leadership that this is about the only competition that we're really in charge of, apart from organizing FIFA and CAF games, on our territory when those matches come. So, yes, but the lost for several years, if not decades, but the NFF is trying its best to ensure that, the glamour, the glitz, the glory is back. And in the past 3, 4, 5 years, we've had a lot of things, issues with, at first, ITO, and there's some, chaps came in, Tingo last year, they didn't deliver what they were supposed to deliver. It was just a sham. And now we have, we appear to have settled down with GTI. GTI, they've been working with the NPFL, and they say, let's come in, let's try to bring in sponsorship and try to make this, let's try and bring back the glamour of this cup. It's a concern for everyone in the federation, and I can assure you that gradually we are trying.
Yeah, have you ever thought about concessioning it to private individuals who can probably drive it even better? Is that the thought that maybe the NFF are looking at?
Oh, definitely. The NFF who is ready and open to all options, that we ensure that this competition started as Governor's Cup, been Challenge Cup, been FA Cup, we want it to be the very best in the country. So the NFF is open to suggestions, advice, and we think positive, vibes, positive, most positive proposals, that ensure that we really bring this federation, this competition back to where it should be.
Okay. Ademola Olajire, Director of Communications of Africa's biggest, probably potentially biggest football federation. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. You've answered quite a lot of the questions diplomatically, but thank you so much for sparing your time, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Baba. Today, thank you very much, Oye, my good friend, Onyechi and Okwe. Thank you so much. It's been a very good opportunity. I like to say that it's an honor to be on this program tonight. Thank you very much.
Trust me, the honor is all ours. Thank you very much.